The massive screen in Earth's United Defense Force headquarters showed a ship unlike anything humans had ever built. It was smooth, gleaming, and nearly as long as 3 aircraft carriers. Commander Do-hyun Kim stood before the screen, his hands clasped behind his back, watching as the alien vessel moved closer to Earth's orbit. "They're sending another message, sir," Captain Jae-yun Park said from her station. She was young for her rank at 32, but her intelligence had earned her this position at Mission Control. Do-hyun nodded. "Play it." The alien voice filled the room, speaking perfect English. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are the Nakshuri, and we wish to share our knowledge with your developing civilization." Jae-yun frowned at her screen. Something about the tone bothered her. It reminded her of how adults sometimes talk to small children. She glanced at Commander Do-hyun, wondering if he noticed it too. "Captain Park, what do your scans show?" Do-hyun asked. "Their ship's energy readings are off the charts, but..." She paused, double-checking her data. "They're only showing us what they want us to see. Some areas of their ship are completely dark to our scanners." Do-hyun walked to her station and looked at the readings. After 20 years in the United Defense Force, he had learned to trust his instincts. Right now, those instincts were telling him something wasn't right. The world's leaders had gathered virtually for an emergency meeting. On screens around the room, presidents, prime ministers, and other officials waited for Do-hyun's input. He was Earth's chosen representative for this historic moment. "The Nakshuri ship carries enough power to level a continent," Jae-yun explained to the gathered leaders. "But they're being very open about showing us this. Almost too open." One of the world leaders spoke up. "Are you suggesting this is a threat, Captain Park?" "Not exactly," Jae-yun said. "It feels more like someone showing off their muscles to impress others." Do-hyun stepped forward. "I recommend we proceed with caution. We accept their offer for contact, but on neutral ground, our moonbase." The leaders discussed this briefly before agreeing. Do-hyun turned to his communications officer. "Send the message." The Nakshuri responded quickly, agreeing to the meeting. Within hours, their shuttle was landing at the moonbase. Do-hyun led the Earth delegation, with Jae-yun and several other officers accompanying him. The airlock cycled, and for the first time, humans came face to face with the Nakshuri. They were tall, with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer. Their leader stepped forward, towering over Do-hyun. "We are pleased to meet you," the alien said, its voice smooth and practiced. "We have watched your civilization's progress with great interest. Your recent achievements in space travel are quaint." Jae-yun felt her jaw tighten at the word quaint. She watched as the alien delegation toured their moonbase, noting how they touched everything, scanned everything, all while making comments that sounded like praise but felt like something else. "Your solar power systems are quite creative, considering your limited understanding of quantum mechanics," one Nakshuri scientist said, examining the base's power center. "Limited?" Jae-yun asked. "We've made significant breakthroughs in quantum research." The alien patted her shoulder, like a teacher encouraging a struggling student. "Of course you have." Later, in a private meeting room, Do-hyun and Jae-yun discussed their observations. "They're scanning everything," Jae-yun said, "but they're trying to make it look casual." Do-hyun nodded. "And their compliments are actually insults," Jae-yun finished. "They think we're primitive." "Good," Do-hyun said, surprising her. "Let them think that. Meanwhile, maintain our current protocol. Show them only what's in the public database." Jae-yun understood. Earth had secrets, carefully guarded ones. The quantum shield programs, the advanced AI systems, the antimatter research, all hidden away in bases deep beneath the ocean and inside mountains. As they watched the Nakshuri return to their shuttle, Jae-yun noticed something else. The aliens moved with absolute confidence, without any sign of caution or concern. They truly believed they had nothing to fear from Earth. "They think we're being nice because we're weak," she said quietly. Do-hyun smiled slightly. Then they have a lot to learn about humanity, Captain Park. A lot to learn indeed. The Naxuri ship rose from the moon's surface, its engines silent and powerful. On Earth, billions watched through their screens, celebrating humanity's first contact with alien life. But in the command center, Jae-yun and Do-hyun exchanged knowing looks. The real test of humanity was just beginning, and Earth had far more cards to play than their visitors realized. 6 months had passed since the Naxuri arrived. Lieutenant He-jun Lee sat in his underground office, staring at the data on his screen. As Earth's lead intelligence officer for alien affairs, he had spent countless hours studying the Naxuri's activities. What he saw worried him. "Computer, show me the mining permit requests from the last 3 months," he said. The screen filled with a long list of documents, too long. He-jun picked up his secure phone and called Captain Jae-yun Park. "Captain, I need you to see this." An hour later, Jae-yun stood in He-jun's office, looking at the same data. "They've asked for mining rights in 30 different locations," she said, her voice tight with concern. "Not just any locations," He-jun pointed at the map. "Look at the pattern. Each site sits on a major underground water source or rare mineral deposit." Jae-yun leaned closer. "And our leaders keep saying yes to every request. Because the Naxuri offer amazing things in return," He-jun said. "Medical technology, clean energy systems, space travel improvements." But he pulled up another screen. "I found something else, something they don't want us to see." The screen showed pictures of another planet, one that looked a lot like Earth. But this planet was dying. Its oceans were nearly empty, and its surface was covered in huge mining pits. "Where did you get this?" Jae-yun asked. "I hacked into their ship's database during their last friendship visit to our Tokyo base," He-jun said. "This planet was called Kepler-4. The Naxuri visited them too, 8 years ago. They also came in peace." Jae-yun felt cold. "What happened to the people there?" "Gone. All of them." He-jun's voice was quiet. "They left when their planet could no longer support life. The Naxuri helped them relocate to small space colonies." Commander Do-hyun needed to see this. They found him in his office at the United Defense Force headquarters, reading through the latest Naxuri technology offer. "They're not sharing technology," Jae-yun said after they showed him the evidence. "They're buying us off while they take what they really want." Do-hyun stood and walked to his window. Below, a Naxuri ship was landing at the public spaceport. "How many other planets?" he asked. "3 that I've confirmed," He-jun answered. "All followed the same pattern. First contact, technology sharing, resource mining, and then..." He didn't need to finish. "But we're different," Do-hyun said, turning back to them. "We've been preparing for something like this for years." "Sir," Jae-yun asked, "Captain Park, what do you think would happen if we said no to their next mining request?" Jae-yun thought for a moment. "They'd probably act surprised, maybe even hurt. They'd talk about trust and friendship. Then they'd offer us something bigger, better. And if we still said no, they'd show their true faces," He-jun said. Do-hyun nodded. "Exactly. Which is why we won't say no. Not yet." He pressed a button on his desk, and a hidden screen appeared from the wall. It showed hundreds of secret facilities, deep underground and underwater. In these bases, Earth's real technology was waiting. "Continue monitoring them," Do-hyun ordered. "Let them think their plan is working. Meanwhile, send this data to Admiral Sumin. She needs to speed up the quantum shield production." As Jae-yun and He-jun left the office, they passed a group of Naxuri representatives. The aliens smiled and nodded politely. "Your civilization is progressing so nicely," one of them said. "Soon you'll understand space travel almost as well as we did 1,000 years ago. We look forward to learning from you," Jae-yun said, smiling back. Under her desk, her hand tightened into a fist. Back in her own office, Jai-yun looked at a picture on her desk. It showed her sister, Dr. Yoo-jin Park, working in her secret lab deep under the Pacific Ocean. Yoo-jin was Earth's leading expert in alien biology, and she was very close to a breakthrough. "Keep underestimating us," Jai-yun whispered, looking out her window at the Naxuri ships floating above the city. "That's exactly what we want you to do." In the darkness of space, hidden behind the moon, Earth's real fleet was growing. Not the simple ships the Naxuri saw, but vessels powered by technology that would make even their advanced civilization pause. Humanity was playing a dangerous game, but they were playing it perfectly. The false peace wouldn't last forever. But when it ended, the Naxuri would learn that appearing weak and being weak were very different things. Dr. Yoo-jin Park hadn't left her underground lab in 3 days. She stared through her microscope at the Naxuri cell sample, watching as it reacted to Earth's atmosphere. What she saw made her smile for the first time in weeks. "Run the test again," she told her computer. "I need to be completely sure." The machine hummed as it worked. Yoo-jin looked at the massive tank behind her, filled with swirling blue water from the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. The Naxuri had specifically told Earth not to explore these depths. Now she knew why. Her phone rang. It was her sister, Captain Jai-yun Park. "Yoo-jin, we have a problem," Jai-yun said. "The Naxuri just emptied another lake in South America. They say they're purifying it, but the water never comes back." "They're lying," Yoo-jin said. "I just proved it. They're not purifying anything. They're taking the water because they need it to survive." She looked at her test results again. "Their bodies are dying, Jai-yun. Earth's normal air is too dry for them. They need to stay in special wetsuits filled with water from their home planet." "But they're running out of their own water," Jai-yun said, understanding. "So they're taking ours." "Yes, but that's not all." Yoo-jin walked to another screen. "Earth's deep ocean water is special. It has minerals they can't find anywhere else. Minerals they need." Just then, both sisters received an urgent message from Commander Do-hyun. Within an hour, they joined him and Lieutenant Ho-jun in the emergency command center. "The Naxuri are getting aggressive," Do-hyun said. He showed them a map. Red dots covered it, showing all the water sources the aliens had taken. "They're moving faster now, taking more than we agreed to." "Because they're desperate," Yoo-jin explained. She told them about her discovery. Ho-jun pulled up his own data. "That matches what I found. Look at these pictures from their ship." The screen showed Naxuri soldiers wearing what looked like diving suits. "They're not wearing those for show. They need them to live. And now they're running out of their own water supply," Jai-yun added. "So they're taking ours faster." Do-hyun pressed a button, and a hidden screen appeared. It showed Earth's secret military bases under the oceans. "We're ready," he said. "The quantum shields are working. Our hidden fleet is armed. But we need to wait for the right moment. They're starting to show their true nature," Ho-jun said. He played a video from earlier that day. It showed a Naxuri leader yelling at human officials who had questioned their water usage. "You don't understand what you're dealing with," the alien had shouted. "We can take what we need by force." "That was their first threat," Do-hyun said. "They're getting impatient, sloppy." Yoo-jin stepped forward. "I need 2 more days," she said. "I'm developing something that targets their biological weakness, a way to disable their water suits without hurting them." "You have 1 day," Do-hyun replied. "They're planning something big. Our spies on their ship report they're preparing their weapons." Jai-yun looked at the massive screen showing the Naxuri ships above Earth's major cities. The aliens thought these ships scared humans. They didn't know about the quantum cannons hidden in every mountain range, waiting for the order to fire. "They think we're giving in to their demands because we're afraid," Ho-jun said. "Because we're weak." "Let them think that," Do-hyun said. "For now." He turned to Yoo-jin. "Doctor, finish your work. Captain Park, prepare our hidden fleet. Lieutenant Lee, keep watching them." They're getting careless, making mistakes. That's exactly what we need. As they left the command center, they passed a group of Naxuri officials. The aliens barely looked at them, too busy arguing about water supplies. Remember, Du-hyun said quietly to his team, every time they treat us like children, every time they threaten us, they're just making their final lesson harder. Humanity isn't weak. We're patient, and they're about to learn the difference. Above them, the Naxuri ships gleamed in the sunlight, their weapons still hidden, their crews still believing they had all the power. They didn't know they were swimming in dangerous waters, and the tide was about to turn. Major Ta Wong Choi and his Special Forces team moved silently through the massive Naxuri command ship. Their new stealth suits made them invisible to both eyes and sensors. The ship's halls were filled with panicked aliens trying to fix their failing water systems. Almost at the bridge, Ta Wong whispered into his radio, "No resistance so far. They don't even know we're here." Back on Earth, Commander Du-hyun watched through Ta Wong's helmet camera. "Remember, we need their command codes. Be careful. Desperate enemies are dangerous enemies." The Naxuri High Command had retreated to this ship after Yujin's weapons started shutting down their fleet. They thought hiding behind a wall of battleships would keep them safe. They were wrong. "Dr. Park," Du-hyun called. "Status of the virus." In her lab, Yujin looked at her screens. The virus she made was spreading through the Naxuri ship's water systems. "It's working better than we hoped. Their neural networks are shutting down. They can't talk to each other anymore." Captain Jae-yun's voice came through the radio. "The Thunder is in position. We're ready to catch the command ship when its power fails." On the command ship's bridge, the Naxuri leaders argued about what to do. Their water suits were leaking. Their weapons couldn't hurt Earth. More of their ships were falling from space every minute. "Now," Ta Wong whispered. His team threw special grenades that filled the bridge with dry air. The aliens' water suits started drying up faster. As they panicked, Ta Wong's team appeared, weapons ready. "Don't move," Ta Wong said calmly. "Your ship is surrounded. Your fleet is defeated. Your water is almost gone." The Naxuri High Commander stood up shakily. "Impossible," he gasped through his failing suit. "How did primitives like you defeat us?" "You still don't understand," Ta Wong said. He nodded to one of his soldiers, who started downloading the ship's computers. "We were never primitive. We just didn't show you everything we had." Lieutenant Hejun's voice came through the radio. "Major, I'm seeing something in their data. They're not just an invasion force. They're refugees." "What?" Du-hyun asked. "Their home world is dying. That's why they're so desperate for water and minerals. They've been stripping planets bare, trying to save their civilization." Yujin spoke next. "That matches what I found in their biology. Their species is dying. They need specific minerals in their water to survive, but they're running out." The High Commander sank into his chair. "Now you know. We had no choice. We need these resources to live." "There's always a choice," Du-hyun said through Ta Wong's radio. "You could have asked for help instead of trying to steal from us." Jae-yun's ship, the Thunder, moved closer to the command ship. "All their systems are failing, Major. Get ready for pickup." Tai Wong looked at the desperate aliens. "Here's what's going to happen. We're taking control of your ship. Earth will provide enough water to keep your people alive. In return, you will call off all attacks. Then we can talk about peaceful ways to help your people." "Why would you help us?" the High Commander asked. "After what we did." "Because that's what humans do," Tai Wong answered. "We're stronger than you thought, yes, but we're also kinder than you imagined." Yujin's voice came through again. "I think I can help them. Their water problem. I might have a solution, but they have to cooperate." The High Commander looked at his failing suit, then at his scared officers. Finally, he nodded. "We surrender. Completely." As Ta Wong's team secured the bridge, Earth's ships moved in to catch the dying command ship. The remaining Nakshuri fleet, seeing their leaders captured, powered down their weapons. "Send the message to all ships," Duhyun ordered. "The war is over. Earth stands ready to help those who want peace, but we will never bow to threats again." The sun rose over Earth again, shining on a very different galaxy. Humanity had not just proved its strength, it had shown something even more powerful, the ability to be strong and merciful at the same time. The Nakshuri were about to learn that making peace with humans was the smartest choice they had ever made. Captain Jae-yun Park stood on the bridge of the Thunder, watching the massive Nakshuri flagship drift in space. After their leaders surrendered, most alien ships had given up, but one group refused to accept defeat. "Captain, enemy ships approaching," her radar officer called out. "They're not responding to surrender orders." "How many?" Jae-yun asked. 50 ships, all warships. They're being led by Supreme Commander Valtek. He's saying he'd rather die than surrender to primitive humans." Commander Duhyun's voice came through the radio. "Captain Park, you have permission to use the quantum fold drive." Jae-yun smiled. The Nakshuri were about to see Earth's most advanced technology. "All hands, prepare for quantum fold." On Earth, Dr. Yoo-jin Park watched her sister's ship on the big screen. "The fold drive is stable," she reported. "It's ready." Lieutenant Ho-jun added, "Our spies report Valtek thinks he can overwhelm us with speed and numbers. He doesn't know about the full technology." The enemy ships formed an attack line. Valtek's voice boomed through all channels. "Humans, you may have tricked our leaders, but true Nakshuri warriors never surrender. Prepare to." His voice cut off as the thunder disappeared. 1 second it was in front of his fleet, the next it was behind them. "How?" Valtek demanded. "No species has mastered teleportation." "We didn't teleport," Jae-yun explained calmly. "We folded space. Want to see it again?" The thunder vanished and reappeared above the enemy fleet, then below it, then beside it. Each time, it fired precise shots that disabled the enemy ship's engines without destroying them. "Impossible," Valtek shouted. "You're supposed to be primitive. You're supposed to be weak." Major Ta Wung's voice joined the channel. His teams had already boarded half the disabled ships. "You made the same mistake your leaders did. You thought being peaceful meant being weak." In her lab, Yoo-jin finished analyzing the enemy ship's water systems. "Captain, their water supplies are almost gone. They can't fight much longer." Valtek's ship suddenly turned and fired all its weapons at the thunder. The shots passed through empty space. Jae-yun had folded her ship away again. "Last chance," Jae-yun announced, reappearing right in front of Valtek's bridge. "Surrender, and we'll give you water. Fight, and you'll drift in space until your suits run dry." "Never." Valtek moved to fire again. "Your choice," Jae-yun said. She pressed a button, and Yoo-jin's virus entered Valtek's ship. All its systems shut down at once. Broadcasting to all remaining Nakshuri ships, Duhyun said, "Look at your mighty Supreme Commander now. Defeated not because we're stronger, but because we're smarter. Because we plan ahead. Because we only look primitive to those too proud to look closer." One by one, the remaining ships powered down their weapons. Valtek's rebellion was over before it really began. As Ta Wung's teams secured the last ships, Ho-jun discovered something interesting in Valtek's computers. "Sir, you need to see this. They've been sending messages to other alien races, asking for help against us." "And?" Duhyun asked. The responses just came in. Every race said no. They'd been watching what happened. No one wants to fight Earth now. Jae-yun brought the thunder back to Earth's orbit. Below her, the quantum shields shimmered like blue silk around every city. They had never failed, never cracked, never weakened. "Send a message to Valtek's followers," Admiral Sumin ordered. "Tell them what happens next." Jae-yun opened all channels one last time. "To all Nakshuri, your leaders have surrendered. Your Supreme Commander is defeated. Earth offers you two choices. Accept our terms for peace, and we'll help your people survive. Or keep fighting, and learn just how many more surprises we have waiting. The response was immediate. Every remaining Nakshuri ship powered down their weapons. Do-hyun looked at the final battle reports. Not a single human life lost. Not a single alien ship destroyed. Earth had won its first galactic war with intelligence, preparation, and restraint. Now, he said, we can show them what real peace looks like. Major Ta-Wong Choi crawled through the dark tunnel under the Nakshuri landing site. His Special Forces team followed close behind, their advanced suits making them invisible to alien scanners. What they found made his blood run cold. "Command, this is Major Choi," he whispered into his radio. "You need to see this." In the command center, Commander Do-hyun and Captain Jae-yun watched the video feed from Ta-Wong's helmet camera. The tunnel opened into a massive cave. Inside were rows and rows of alien weapons. "Those aren't defense weapons," Jae-yun said quietly. "Those are for invasion." The door to the command center burst open. Admiral Su-min Kang walked in, her face dark with anger. "The Nakshuri just made their biggest demand yet," she said. "They want access to Earth's core mineral deposits, all of them. They're not even trying to hide their real plans anymore," Do-hyun said. He looked at the latest reports from around the world. The aliens had stopped pretending to be friendly. Now they simply took what they wanted. Jae-yun's phone buzzed. It was a message from her sister Yoo-jin. "It's ready." "Sir," Jae-yun said to Do-hyun, "Dr. Park has finished her project. The weapon that targets their water suits is complete." Admiral Su-min nodded. "Good, because I don't think we can wait much longer." The main screen lit up with an incoming message from the Nakshuri High Commander. The alien's face filled the screen, its silver skin shining with water from its suit. "People of Earth," the alien said, not bothering to sound friendly anymore, "you will give us access to your core minerals. This is not a request. You have 1 day to agree, or we will take them by force." Do-hyun stepped forward. "And if we refuse?" The alien laughed. "Refuse? You? Your weapons are toys compared to ours. Your technology is primitive. You've been peaceful because you know you can't fight us. Is that what you think?" Admiral Su-min asked. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were steel. "We have watched your kind before," the alien said. "You humans always give in. You're too afraid to fight, too weak to resist." In the hidden tunnel, Major Ta-Wong and his team placed scanning devices near the alien weapons. The data they collected went straight to Earth's secret weapon labs. "1 day," the alien repeated. "Then we take what we want." The screen went dark. Admiral Su-min turned to her team. "Are we ready?" Do-hyun pressed a button, and new screens appeared. They showed Earth's hidden defenses, quantum shields ready to activate, advanced ships waiting in underwater bases, and weapons that would make the Nakshuris look simple. "Major Choi," Do-hyun said into his radio, "what's your team's status?" "In position, sir," Ta-Wong replied. "We've mapped their entire hidden base, found their weak points." "Dr. Park," Admiral Su-min asked. Yoo-jin's voice came through the speaker. "The anti-suit weapon is ready. 1 burst will disable their water supply without harming them. They'll have to retreat to their ships or suffocate in our air." "Captain Park, status of our fleet." Jae-yun looked at her screens. Deep under the oceans, hundreds of advanced Earth ships waited for the signal. "Ready, Admiral." "The Nakshuri still don't know they exist." Admiral Su-min walked to the window. Above the city, the alien ships floated like silver clouds. They looked peaceful, but now everyone knew the truth. Inside those ships, the Nakshuri were preparing for war. "Send them our answer," she ordered. Do-hyun opened the communication channel. His voice was steady as he spoke to the aliens. "This is Earth's response. No. You dare refuse us?" the alien commander asked, shocked. "We do," Admiral Su-min said. And one more thing. You made a big mistake. What mistake? You thought we were nice because we were weak. She smiled. You're about to learn how wrong you were. As the alien started to respond, Du-hyun gave the first order. Around the world, Earth's hidden defenses began to power up. The Naxuri were about to learn that humanity's patience had run out, and patience was the only thing keeping them safe. Lieutenant Hejum Lee saw the danger first. His computers picked up strange signals from the disabled Naxuri ships. They're sending messages to space, he shouted into his radio. Long-range calls for help. In her ship, Captain Jae-yun Park got the warning too late. Hundreds of new ships appeared around Earth, jumping out of light speed. These were not the peaceful-looking ships from before. These were war vessels. All ships, battle positions. Jae-yun ordered. The Thunder turned to face the new threat. The radio crackled with the voice of a different Naxuri commander. You think you surprised us. We have more ships than you can count. Your cities will burn for this insult. Commander Du-hyun's voice stayed calm. Lieutenant Hejum, activate Plan Ghost. Hejum smiled and pressed a button. Across Earth, hidden devices turned on. The alien ships' targeting systems suddenly went blind. Their weapons couldn't lock onto anything. Quantum fog, Hejum explained to the confused aliens. You can't hit what you can't see. But the Naxuri had numbers on their side. They started firing randomly at Earth's cities. The quantum shields held strong, turning the alien weapons into harmless light shows. Dr. Park, Du-hyun called. Time for your surprise. In her lab, Yoo-jin Park launched her special weapon. It wasn't just meant to disable water suits anymore. Now it could shut down entire Naxuri ships. Their ships run on water power, she explained as she worked. No water, no power. Major Ta Wong's teams moved through the cities, helping people stay calm. They had practiced this many times. Every human knew where to go and what to do. Keep recording everything, Ta Wong told his soldiers. The galaxy needs to see what happens when you push humanity too far. The Naxuri ships tried a new attack. They sent soldiers to land in the cities, but Earth was ready for this too. Now they learn why we're good at fighting on the ground, Hejum said. He watched through cameras as Earth's hidden defense forces appeared from secret bases. The alien soldiers found themselves fighting an enemy they couldn't see. Earth's soldiers wore suits that bent light around them. They moved like ghosts through the streets. Your ships are dying, Jae-yun told the alien commander. Your soldiers are lost. Want to surrender now? Never. The commander shouted. We never lose. First time for everything, Jae-yun said. She nodded to her weapons officer. The Thunder fired its quantum cannons again. 3 more alien ships lost power and started falling. Earth's quantum shields caught the falling ships, lowering them safely to the ground. Even now, humans showed mercy to their enemies. Captain, Hejum called. I'm picking up signals. The Naxuri are calling for more help. Let them, Admiral Sumin said from her command center. The more ships they bring, the more ships will see what happens when you underestimate Earth. Yoo-jin's weapons spread through space like a wave. More Naxuri ships lost power. Their soldiers retreated as their water suits failed. Earth's forces moved forward, capturing aliens but never killing them. Why? A captured Naxuri commander asked Major Ta Wong. Why do you spare us when you could destroy us? Because that's not who we are, Ta Wong answered. We're not cruel. We just want you to leave us alone. In orbit, Jae-yun watched more enemy ships appear, but now they stayed far from Earth, watching as their fellow ships lost power and fell. Send them a message, Du-hyun ordered. Tell them what will happen if they attack. Jae-yun opened all channels. To all Naxuri ships, look around you. See your mighty fleet defeated. See your soldiers captured but alive. This is Earth's power. This is Earth's mercy. Choose wisely what you do next. The battle wasn't over. But Earth had shown the galaxy something important. Humans weren't just strong. They were strong enough to be kind to their enemies. And that, more than any weapon, scared the Naxuri most of all. Captain Jae-yun Park sat in the command chair of Earth's most advanced spaceship, the Thunder. Until today, this ship had stayed hidden in an underwater base. Now it rose from the Pacific Ocean, water falling from its black surface. "All ships report ready," her second officer said. Around the world, more ships like hers were emerging from their hiding places. The Naxuri ships above Earth didn't react at first. Their sensors couldn't detect Earth's quantum-shielded vessels. That was their first mistake. "Dr. Park, are you ready?" Jae-yun asked through her radio. In her laboratory, Yoo-jin checked her weapon one last time. "Ready, sister. One shot will disable their water suits. They'll have to retreat or accept our terms." Commander Do-hyun's voice came through all radio channels. "Operation Silent Thunder begins now." Jae-yun pressed a button on her chair. "All ships, power up quantum weapons." In space, the Naxuri finally noticed something was wrong. Their sensors started picking up energy readings they had never seen before. The alien commander's face appeared on Jae-yun's screen. "What is this?" he demanded. "These readings, impossible. Your people don't have this technology." "Surprise," Jae-yun said calmly. "Turns out we're not as primitive as you thought." The alien's face turned angry. "You dare to challenge us? We will destroy your cities." "Look again," Do-hyun's voice cut in. Above every major city on Earth, quantum shields suddenly became visible. They looked like giant blue domes of light. Major Ta-wong's voice came next. "All Special Forces teams in position. We control their ground bases." The Naxuri commander's water suit started leaking. Yoo-jin's weapon was working. What are you doing to us?" "Teaching you a lesson," Jae-yun said. "Your suits are failing. Your weapons bases are captured. Your ships are surrounded. Stand down, or we'll show you what humanity can really do." Instead of surrendering, the alien commander screamed orders to his fleet. Naxuri ships started powering up their weapons. "They want to learn the hard way," Admiral Sumin said from Earth's command center. "Captain Park, show them what the Thunder can do." Jae-yun nodded to her weapons officer. "Target their flagship. Minimal power. We don't want to destroy them. Just show them what we can do." The Thunder's main weapon fired a beam of pure quantum energy. It cut through the Naxuri flagship's shields like they weren't even there. The alien ship's lights flickered and died. "How?" the alien commander asked, his voice shaking. "How do you have this technology?" "We've had it for years," Do-hyun explained. "We hid it because we wanted peace. We acted friendly because we chose to, not because we had to." Around the world, more Naxuri ships lost power as Earth's fleet attacked. Their water suits failed as Yoo-jin's weapons spread through their bases. Major Ta-wong's teams captured alien commanders who could no longer survive in Earth's dry air. "Your choice," Jae-yun told the alien commander. "Surrender and we'll give you enough water to return home. Fight, and we'll disable every ship you have." On her screen, she saw the alien commander looking around his ship in panic. His water suit was almost empty. His weapons didn't work against Earth's quantum shields. His mighty fleet was being defeated by ships he hadn't even known existed. We surrender," he said finally. Admiral Sumin smiled. "Smart choice. Now, let's talk about those mining rights you stole." As Earth's ships surrounded the alien fleet, Jae-yun looked at her crew. They weren't celebrating yet. This was just the beginning. "Send word to all ships," she ordered. "Keep quantum shields at full power. The Naxuri might have friends out there who need the same lesson." In his command center, Do-hyun watched the alien ships powering down. "Next time," he said quietly, "remember that being peaceful isn't the same as being weak." The sun rose over Earth, its light reflecting off the quantum shields protecting every city. Humanity had revealed its true strength, and the galaxy would never be the same. 1 year after the Naxuri surrender, Earth had changed. Captain Jae-yun Park stood in the new Galactic Council chamber, built in Seoul. Around her, representatives from 20 alien races sat together, discussing trade and peace. The water purification system is working better than we hoped, Dr. Yoo-jin Park explained to the council. The Nakshuri homeworld's oceans are recovering. Their people will survive. The Nakshuri High Commander, now serving as their peace ambassador, stood up. We once thought humans were primitive because they were kind. We were wrong. They are advanced because they are kind. Lieutenant He-jun walked into the chamber, carrying new reports. 3 more civilizations have asked to join the council, he announced. They say they want to learn from Earth. Commander Do-hyun smiled. Things had changed so much. Earth's cities now had permanent quantum shields, not from fear, but as proof of human innovation. The shields glowed soft blue at night, reminding everyone of humanity's hidden strength. Captain Park, Admiral Sumin called. Your new ship is ready. Jae-yun followed the Admiral to the spaceport. There, gleaming in the sunlight, stood the Hope. It was bigger than the Thunder, more advanced, and built for a special purpose. Earth's first diplomatic vessel, Major Ta Wong said, walking up to them. His special forces now trained aliens in peaceful conflict resolution. Who would have thought we'd come so far? The Hope was Earth's newest ship, but not for war. It carried scientists, doctors, and helpers to other worlds. Its quantum fold drive could reach anywhere in the galaxy. Its holds were full of medicine and aid supplies. Remember when they thought we were weak? He-jun asked, looking at the ship. Now they send their children here to study. He was right. The new Galactic University in Beijing had students from 50 different worlds. They came to learn not just about technology, but about human culture, art, and most importantly, human kindness. Yoo-jin's lab had grown too. She worked with alien scientists now, solving problems together. We found something interesting, she told the others. Each race has something special to offer. We were never meant to fight each other. We were meant to help each other. In orbit, the Thunder still patrolled, but not alone. Ships from friendly alien races trained with Earth's fleet. They learned about quantum shields, space folding, and most importantly, when not to use them. The galaxy's changing, Do-hyun said, watching alien and human crews work together. And we're helping it change for the better. Jae-yun walked through her new ship, the Hope. Its medical bays were ready to help any species. Its laboratories could solve problems for any world. Its quantum shields were there to protect, never to attack. Captain, her new first officer called. We're ready for our first mission. Where are we going? Jae-yun asked, even though she knew the answer. A planet at the edge of the galaxy. They're having problems with their sun. They need help. They asked for help. Jae-yun remembered how different things were just a year ago. Yes, they said they heard about Earth, about how humans are strong enough to be kind. Admiral Sumin gave the final approval. The Hope would lead a fleet of helper ships. Each one carried supplies, technology, and hope to worlds in need. This is what we were hiding all along, Do-hyun told the Galactic Council. Not just our weapons or our shields. We were hiding our greatest strength, our ability to forgive, to help, to make things better. As the Hope prepared to leave, Jae-yun looked at Earth through her bridge window. The quantum shields shimmered like a promise that humanity would always be strong enough to be kind, smart enough to help others, and wise enough to know the difference between showing strength and using it. Ready to go, Captain? Her crew asked. Ready, Jae-yun said. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can really do. The Hope folded space for the first time, heading out to help another world. Behind it, Earth glowed blue and peaceful, no longer hiding its power, but using it to light the way for others. The Nakshuri had taught the galaxy one thing: never mistake Earth's kindness for weakness. But humans had taught something more important. True strength lies in choosing to be kind when you don't have to be.